I'm Tom Goodwin. I'm SVP of Strategy and Innovation at Havas Media. My area of expertise is basically understanding the near-term future and the implications of that for our brands. So my job is to understand what's new and what's next, what kind of technologies are being developed and what kind of behaviors are changing in the marketplace. The greatest challenge for advertisers today is dealing with the kind of accelerating rate of change. On the one hand, we can kind of look at ourselves and take comfort from the fact that things have never changed this fast before. On the other hand, as we look ahead, one day we will kind of reminisce on this moment and look back to these simple times and realize how simple things were right now. So dealing with the change and dealing with that level of complexity is the biggest challenge. If you look at the kind of changing role of screens in people's lives and the primary and the newest screens, something really interesting is happening. In the 18 or 1900s, we may have looked at cinemas, we then moved on to TV screens, later on we started pulling our glances at laptops, and then now mobile phones, and then ultimately perhaps wearables. And if we look at that kind of transition over time, you see that the screen that we spend our time looking at is getting progressively smaller. You see that we get ever closer to that screen becomes more personal, and as a result you see people consuming it with fewer people. So while 250 people may have watched a movie, a family of 5 may have watched a TV movie, if we're now looking at our wearable, it's our most kind of personal, most close, most kind of small screen to connect on. And that means that we're dealing with very immersive, very kind of personal experiences. Another thing that's changed in that time is we've gone from kind of one-way broadcasting to a device which understands many, many different inputs at the same time. So while a cinema screen, someone just sat back in the projector room and pressed play, when we're dealing with mobile phones or wearables or virtual reality headsets, we're dealing with equipment that has incredible levels of input, both from our movements and from how we control the device, but also incredible inputs from the world around us. So our wearable will know where we are, it'll know what the temperature is, it'll know what the news is of that day, it'll know what our personal heartbeat is at that moment in time. So we're dealing with a very, very different media environment based on intimacy and data and a variety of inputs. The real kind of promise that virtual reality becomes is it can become one thing that's right in front of our face that means that everything else around us blends into the background and we become focused on one thing at one time. And that's a media environment that hasn't really existed since the 1960s.